When Donald Trump returned to power, the average tariff rate on all imports to the United States was 2.5%. That's according to the Non-Partisan Tax Foundation. Under the administration's new fee structure, and if things stand, the weighted average applied rate would jump to 12.3% this year, the highest since the Second World War. Some estimates indicate the imposed tariffs could raise $2 trillion in revenue over the next decade. Well, the tariffs are paid by American importers and ultimately the extra charges are passed on to consumers. Here's a hypothetical example. Pre-tariffs, a US business paid $20 for a product it purchased from an Australian-based company. Let's say a particular brand of sunglasses. Well, that business marks them up and sells them for $100 on the American market. Now, though, let's take into account the new duties. That's the extra tax that a business or importer will have to pay to the US government to bring the same sunglasses into the US to sell. Because Australia is subject to a minimum 10% baseline tariff, the American company would have to pay $2 more for that brand of sunglasses. The business is unlikely to absorb that extra cost as it'll bring down its bottom line. So it would add it to the retail cost and a buyer would pay at least $102 retail for the Aussie-made sunglasses. US consumers are facing sharp increases of items such as orange juice and coffee after the Trump administration targeted Brazil with a 50% tariff on all imports from next month. About a third of the coffee consumed in the US comes from Brazil. Economists say both economies could suffer.
A lot could happen before August 1st, so it's quite likely that diplomats on both sides will begin to engage in dialogue and reach an economic agreement that makes it feasible to maintain trade relations between the two countries. What Trump did with China, Canada, and the European Union suggests that this is a process similar to a chess game, where you move a piece but haven't yet reached the king.